Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here. Today I'm going to share some simple ways to use those dies that you have in your collection and show you some mixed media techniques that you can use on your next project. I'm working with these new metal dies and the color kit from the May Hip Kits. I do enjoy adding lots of floral layers to my pages, so I decided to share some ways that you can use your floral dies, like the ones that I have here. This is the Pretty Leaves and Floral collection, and it's got some great details and pieces that you can use to create multiple flowers. I'll also be using this awesome brick die on my page. Background textures like this are so versatile and can be used on many projects. As you know, I prefer to keep mixed media simple, so this project will be an easy one for you to try. The May color kit includes shimmers in Sunny, Jilted Jade, and Pink Stiletto Spray. These products are easy to work with, and I'll share a few of my tips for using them as we create this project. If you'd like a list of the items I used today, I've provided you with links in the description below, along with a link to the Hip Kit site. Let's get started with the project. I'm using some gorgeous photos of our daughter out by the lilacs. There are some bright purples and pinks in these photos, so I want to choose patterns from the May kit that will complement these. Purple and yellow is a great color combination, so I'll use a large portion of this pattern here below my photo. I want it to have a torn edge, but I have control issues, so I'm using my water brush to draw a line where I plan to tear the paper. This is a really simple process. You just brush the water on, let it sit for a moment, then tear right along the water line. I'm going to bring in another paper layer, but I'm debating between this floral daydreams pattern or the more structured one called Made Notes. I like the one with the pink flowers. It's a better match to the photos, and the yellow lines match the other pattern paper. I'm going to create a torn edge in the same manner as before. I'm drawing a line, letting that water soak in a bit, and then I'm going to tear towards myself to create a white edge. At this point, I'm not quite sure where I want these papers to sit, but I do know that I need a little color behind the photos. I'm going to do that with the shimmers from the color kit. The Stiletto Colorings is a lovely shade of pink, and it's very vibrant. For this page, I want a softer hue, so I'm going to water it down. This is what the true color looks like versus the watered down version. There's quite a difference here, and the softer color is a better match to the flowers in my photo. I have already poured some of the pigment into a paint palette, and I've prepped my cardstock with clear gesso. I'm going to spray a little water over the cardstock and add some water to the pigment, and then I'll start brushing this onto the background. Most Shimmers products have a glittery finish, but colorings are one of the products that do not. These are highly pigmented sprays without shimmer. As you can see, you get a lovely coat of coloring from that vibrant pigment. These are water-based products, and like watercolors, the hues will soften some as they dry. I wanted this to be an even softer pink, so I'm spreading it around the page and I'm adding water to the pigment to create a softer hue. I'm going to bring in a paper towel to soak up a little bit of the water and soften the edges, and then I'll set this aside to dry. While that is drying, I'm going to make a few flowers. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I like to show you how to use your dies in multiple ways. Today, I'm going to use them to create some wildflowers and lilac branches. With the dies you see here, I cut out leaves from the minty cardstock and some small dots from quench cardstock, which is a periwinkle color. I'm placing those little dots onto the branches to make them look like the purple wildflowers around our daughter's property. As I was adding these to the leaves, it dawned on me that the lilac flowers I cut are the same color, and I need to change the color of the dots to create a little bit of contrast on my page. I chose a pink cardstock from the May collection, and I'm just adhering those dots right over the top of the purple ones. To create the lilac branches, I cut some larger leaves from minty cardstock and cut this small flower and the centerpiece with the tiny holes from a lighter purple cardstock. The centers are going to be adhered flat to those flowers first. Now that these are assembled, I'm going to adhere a few of them flat onto that branch. I'm just going to place them randomly because lilac branches are a bit random. Once those are in place, I'm going to bring in a second layer of flowers and pop them up with foam tape. Again, these are being placed randomly on the branch, and I'm letting some of the leaves and other flowers peek through. All right, there we go. A simple way to create some lilac branches and wildflowers with your dies. I'm going to make a few more of these off camera, and then I'll show you how the page comes together. Off camera, I adhered the 2 pattern papers to the base of the page, and I cut 2 brick patterns from pink cardstock. Don't you just love the texture that these add to the layout? Texture dies are some of my favorites to work with. You can place them behind photos, along the edge of pattern paper strips, or use them as stencils to create mixed media backgrounds. For the journaling, I'm tucking this little die cut from the main kit into my pattern paper, and I'm going to add a little bow from the Mixed Accents collection below it. Isn't that super cute? Now I'm going to bring in those flowers I created and a few larger ones for this page. I cut these from pure white cardstock using 2 flower dies, a circle die, and the flower center die. I want these to have a little bit of color, so I'm going to brush these sunny shimmers over the top of these pieces here. As you can see, these have a beautiful silvery shine to them, and they're really going to pop on this layout. As those dry, I'm going to shape these flowers with my fingers and layer the pieces together with some foam tape. You can also use flower shaping tools or adhere them together with glue for a flatter flower. Now that the shimmers has dried, I'm going to pop these down with a little foam tape and glue those centers over the top. I'm just using a standard liquid glue, and it sticks just fine to the shimmers paints. I'm going to place these around my photo with the lilac branches and wildflowers that I made. These are all going to sit atop the brick and shimmers background and create a lovely frame around the photos. I did bring in a phrased die cut to the layout. I haven't committed to it yet because I'm worried it might be too bold for this page. As I finish adhering these in place, I would love it if you took a moment to tap the subscribe button, thumbs up icon, or leave a comment below. Your comments are always appreciated, and I truly enjoy reading how a project inspired you. Now that the flowers are in place, I'm going to bring in some of the butterflies from the May embellishment kit. These are translucent washi stickers, and I'm laying them onto some vellum. I want these to pop off the page, but I don't want to lose that translucent-like look. I'm struggling to get these off the sheet a little bit. Like washi tape, they are delicate, but once I get a small portion lifted off, they're easy to pull off the carrier sheet with some tweezers. I know that the vellum backing will make them a little more opaque, but the look of washi will still be there. If you would prefer a solid look, you can adhere these to some cardstock. For my title, I'm going to layer this piece of purple washi strip at the top here and layer a die cut over the top. This mint colored flag is a better fit than the dark purple one I had earlier, and the phrase "doing this makes me happy" fits the narrative of the page. With some liquid adhesive, I'm popping those little butterflies in place. I bent them in the center and added glue along the fold. Originally, I had only cut out 3 butterflies, but they are so cute that I had to add 2 more. This also gave me the ability to add some more pink, green, and yellow to my layout. Adhering the title, washi, and butterfly at the top of the page added quite a bit of weight in that area. I need to balance it out with another cluster here at the lower portion of the layout. Adding an item here will also create some directional flow across the photos. I'm going to tuck a little mint heart right here to create a nice triangle of color. And then I'll finish off the page by sprinkling some glitter dots throughout the layout. I'm going to place 3 of them up here near the title and 2 of them down here near the journal card. I'm going to finish adding these to the layout and then I'll share the finished project with you. Off camera, I was struggling with the large amount of yellow at the base of the page, and I felt like the photos weren't framed very well. I brought in another strip of that pattern to the top, added some zigzag stitching, and now it feels like this page is complete. Most of the items I used today were part of the May kit from Hip Kit Club. If you are a member of the Hip Kit Club, you save $5 on the monthly kit and 15% on coordinating items which ship free with your main kit. If you would like to learn more, I've added details in the description below. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions about this project or the supplies I used, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.